Well, one thing that can be really game changing for another New York team is a big free agent that's still out there. Blake Snell has been offered another contract from the New York Yankees. How game changing is Blake Snell if he signs with the New York Yankees?
It is a serious game changer. Obviously, they've needed a left-handed pitcher that could come in and give some sort of production because Nestor didn't get back to what Nestor was the year before. Rodon obviously shit down both legs. I do think Snell is good enough to be a number 2 or a number 3 in New York. He's obviously not going to be the number 1, but if you add Snell to that rotation, now we're talking a little bit, right? Now we're talking about Stroman being that 4th or 5th guy that now all of a sudden that rotation starts to fill out a little bit, right? I can see the Yanks winning a 5 or a 7 game series with that rotation. Right now, I'm hesitant to say in a 7 game set they have the edge in pitching because Cole's going to go, maybe 3 on short rest, right? So you add Snell, you're seeing Snell and Cole for at least 5 of those 7. Now, that is a game changer for me, especially in the longevity of a season. Plus, you have both Cy Youngs. I don't know, man. I think it's a serious game changer.
So I'll ask the Yanks fans the question, do you expect the Yankees to compete for a championship right now?
Every year.
Every year.
So you would expect them to compete if they had Blake Snell as well, I'm assuming. So that reason alone, I'm saying, no, it's not a game changer. If you're already competing for a championship, what's the matter if Blake Snell comes in? Like, does it make him better? Yeah, you're adding the reigning NL Cy Young. Like, of course it's going to make him better, but is it a game changer for an organization that thinks they're going to win it every year?
It's a good perspective.
It's a valid question, but with a season, anyone that is coaching in the MLB knows that their plan on day one is not what their plan is in July. And their plan in July is not what their plan is in October. So do we expect to compete for a championship? 100%. But when you look at an opportunity to add an arm like Snell, now you're talking about if a starter goes down, you at least have another guy there that can eat innings. If the Yanks lose a starter or 2 from now until July, it's going to have to be through the deadline once again, which I'm fine with, but you're going to overpay at that point for a rental.
I guess let me reword that question then. Do you think they have the team right now to win a championship? Not compete for it. Do you think they have a team right now to win a championship without Snell?
Yes, I would say so.
Offensively, yes. I don't think they have the pitching for it right now.
Okay.
Look, I think that if Blake Snell comes to New York, you have both reigning Cy Youngs, the AL and the NL. You literally cannot get better than that. And I honestly would argue at that point, logically speaking, it has to be the best rotation in baseball. You have the best 2 pitchers in the game. They both won the Cy Young in the previous season. That's a fact. So it's like no debate to me. And if Carlos Rodon returns to half of what he was when he was a Giant and what they expected when they signed him, they're all set. Because then you got Nestor. He'll figure it out. He'll still eat innings. Luis Gil, he's coming back. Or Heal, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but Luis Hill, he's coming back from Tommy John, so he'll be back. Clark Schmidt showed some flashes of being a reliable starter. And now you have Marcus Stroman on top of that. Now you have an abundance of starting pitchers. And that's not even including the guys that they have in their farm system that might be ready to come up during this year. So I think it's a real big game-changing thing. It just depends on, do the Yankees want to lock up a large amount of money for many years to come for Blake Snell? Because it's probably going to cost them 6 years. However, this new offer reportedly is a lot more AAV in less years. So I'm curious to see what they offered him. That information is not public, though.
I'd give him 2 years at $65 million.
I think if they offered him 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 75 and more.
Yeah, they'll throw the bank at him if it's only 2.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. If it's
and I think that's not bad. I think that's a decent signing. Yeah, it might be a high AAV, but like you're not tied to him if he blows out his UCL or something.